Hello, I'm old Mr. Kent. I'm 82 years old, and on my morning e-trike ride. And in my last video, I pointed out that I had, I guess you'd say, suffered a small stroke, and so people were wondering about it. So I thought, well, I'll make a video. This probably won't be too long of a video, but I will put one of my songs at the end, okay? So anyway, I had what's called a TIA. It's called a transient insignia or something like that. Anyway, I'll put it on the screen. Transient insignia attack. I've had them. That's the third one I've had. And so I'll just go through. I'll tell you about, if you want to hear my story. If you don't want to hear my story, that's too bad. All right, so when we were living in town, 3 miles from here, in the HOA, I had gone into the bathroom in our little house, and I didn't come out for a long time, and my wife came in to see how I was doing, and she says, I have to go on everything she says, because I don't remember anything. She says, I was standing in front of the mirror with my left arm sticking out in front of me, like this, staring into the mirror. And so then she could tell that something wasn't right. So we had an EMT guy living across the street from us. And so she ran over and got him. And in the meantime, I guess I made my way to my chair in the living room. And then when he came in, he took some measurements of blood pressure and stuff like that. And I couldn't answer any questions that when he asked me a question, I didn't know the answer. I think I knew the end. I knew my name, but address, phone number, anything like how old I was, all that stuff just was blank. It's kind of a funny feeling, but that's what it was. So he suggested that she take me to the hospital or ER or something and make sure I'm going to be okay. And so that's what we did. And of course, they asked me same questions, and I see we got a vehicle coming here, so we'll just go over here and go, oh, he's turning off, okay. So, where was it? Okay, so the hospital asked me all the same questions, and I couldn't answer anything. So they put me in a room, and that's a noisy machine. So they put me in a room, and I was in there overnight. And as time went by, my memory started coming back, and seemed like everything was going to be okay. And so they let me go that next day. So I was just in there overnight. So I came home, and as I understand it, I don't know for sure, because I don't get in on everything at home. But as I understand, my son, when he heard about it, that's when he decided that we should sell our house, buy a fifth wheel trailer, and move out to his property. And that's what we did. And then as we were living out there, eventually he built the little bungalow that we're now living in, which is attached to his shop. I tried to find some pictures to put up. As you know, I'm on a dirt road right now, if you can't tell. Anyway, so we moved out there. Well, I don't know, and see, my wife can't remember either, because we moved out there, and that I had my little stroke in April of 2020, and so we moved out there shortly after that, and lived in trailer, and then my son built us a little bungalow, and coming up to those ruts again that I always have to be. I go down the middle of the rut, that way I won't tip over into it. Okay, so I think we're past the bad part. So anyway, we moved out there, and I don't remember, maybe my wife remembers, but I don't remember exactly when it was. But after we'd been there for a year or so, then I had another one. And my wife went and got my son out of his house, and he came out, and I guess they asked me if I wanted to go to the hospital, and I did not want to go to the hospital. So they just gave me time, and after a few hours went by, everything started coming back just like before, and I turned out to be okay until let's see, it was a week ago. It was last Tuesday, a week ago tomorrow. Okay, and so we had relatives coming to visit, and they came in the door, and I don't know if that was connected to it or anything, but they came in the door. It was my wife's sister-in-law and her daughter from way back, and it was the first time they'd come down to visit us from up in Idaho. So anyway, get past all the noise, and I have a runny nose, and I apologize, and not much I can do about it. So anyway, they came in, and I said, I made one statement, and then everything just went blank. And I just kind of stood there like an idiot. That's easy for me. And so I stood there, and then finally I realized something wasn't right. My wife could tell. She just looking at me and could tell there was something. So she told me to go sit down in my chair, which I did. And then she asked me all the questions, and I couldn't answer a thing. But as they were talking and visiting, and of course she asked me if I wanted to go to the hospital, and I did not want to go to the hospital. And so they were visiting and talking, and as time went by, a couple hours went by, and I was able to start remembering what street we lived on. In fact, I picked up my tablet and started figuring out where our address was, and where, you go to maps or go to Google Earth. Anyway, and then you can see the roads around you, and then when they ask you what street you live on, well, then you can tell them, I live on East Beehive Road. And so anyway, so I was getting all that, put back together in my brain, and so here I am. Now I'll tell you what, a TIA is a transient. Oh man, I can't pronounce it. I can't remember how to pronounce it, and that's because of my problem. Okay, it's a little worse this time than it was the other times. I think it wiped out more. I'll talk about that later. Anyway, so it's a transient insomnia attack, and it's what happens when a blood clot or some other particle gets stuck trying to get into an artery. And if you haven't been following my channel, I have anyway, I have this disease. It's called arteritis. Let's see, temporal arteritis. Okay, and it's where your blood vein, your artery going up to your brain gets clogged up, or not clogged up, but inflamed, which clamps down on the blood flow. So anyway, I have that, and so it's possibly that's connected. But anyway, so it gets stuck in there, and then it cuts down blood flow to the brain in certain areas. And so fortunately, it's just my memory and it always comes back pretty good. Doesn't look like it, but anyway, I'm trying to make a video, so that's what causes me so much grief. All right, so anyway, that's what's wrong, and I'm okay. I'm healthy. I can manage. I'm just getting too old, that's all. Too old to do all the things I used to do, and but I don't plan on giving up, so I'll still be telling stories when I think of them. And then, let me see, what else was I going to say? Anyway, and so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to play a song that I recorded back in the 90s, early 90s, late 80s. It's called Dreamin', and it's kind of a, what'd you call it? Well, let's see, behavioral science type of song. If you watch, I got interested in behavioral science when I was in college. If you know my history, I worked my way through college running the projectors and films for the audiovisual department, and 90% or more of the films I showed were in the psychology department. And so I got to sit, and I had to sit through every class. So I don't know how many hundreds of classes, psychology classes, I sat through, but I got it it just kind of built up an interest in me to pay attention to not psychological behavior, but boy, I'm getting really nervous. How come I do this? Anyway, not psychology, but behavioral science. There's a difference. Psychology covers everything. Behavioral science covers figuring out why people do what they do, and watching people and seeing why they do what they do. It's become very helpful to me, especially as I was a school teacher. I could actually, especially with this one kid, I could tell when he was telling the truth, when he was lying. And he stole something from somebody, and I got him to confess and go get it and bring it back to his buddy and all that. So anyway, it's very helpful. But it generated that interest. And so this song reflects some of the things that I noticed of people as I was just getting older. Still getting older. Anyway, and so that's what this song is. It's called Dreamin', and I wrote it and sung it and recorded it way back in the 90s. And so I'll let you listen to it, and I hope you enjoy it.
See the young lad on the carpet playing with his little toy. Did you notice how he's dreaming that he's not a little boy? And his sister with a rag doll softly sings a lullaby as she's sharing love and comfort, dreaming through a mother's eye. They're dreaming, escaping from reality, dreaming a world the heart alone can see, dreaming a part of life that helps us through each day. Dreaming, for making us that way. Teenage daughter on a first date spends the day before a mirror. Will he be the one I marry? She holds a dream that's very dear. In their 20s, with a family, bearing children of their own. It's a struggle, saving pennies that will someday buy a home. They're dreaming, escaping from reality. Dreaming a world the heart alone can see. Dreaming a part of life that helps us through each day. Dreaming, thank the Lord for making us that way. In their 40s, dreams accomplished, things aren't always what they seem. With the mid-years comes confusion, time to find another dream. In a rest home, from a wheelchair, through a window at the sky. Aged memories, conversations with the ones from years gone by. They're dreaming, escaping from reality. Dreaming a world the heart alone can see. Dreaming a part of life that helps us through each day. Dreaming, thank the Lord for making us that way.
All right, well, there you have it. One of my songs. I'll be putting some of my songs on at the end of my videos because I know there's been some people wanted to hear some of my songs. So with that, I will say thank you for watching my video, and God bless.